Hey, good morning, it's Owen Bigland. This is the Inside Edge video blog. I want to do a follow-up to the blog I did a few weeks ago on that Mount Pleasant pre-sale selling at close to $1,100 a square foot and how I thought those prices were getting a little ahead of themselves for that neighborhood. I want to do another blog in the similar vein here, it just reaffirms what I've been saying for years on my blog, that you want to buy quality and you've really got to do your due diligence, whether that's an older condo or a brand new one, which is the story I'm going to tell you here. I'm working with a couple of buyers right now, one buyer in particular that's looking for something, a one-bedroom, relatively new, couple years old, concrete in the Mount Pleasant, Gastown, Crosstown area. Went to an open house last weekend for a one-bedroom unit in a building that is just over a year old. It's about 16 months old, this building. Concrete, 14 stories high, in the Mount Pleasant Chinatown area. Went to the open house, and I should say it's one bedroom, priced around $600,000. Toured the open house, and to my surprise, it was the first time I've been in this building. As a matter of fact, it was the second time I'd been in, but the first time I missed this because I was just kind of touring some places on my own. I always like to have a look at new buildings when they first open up, just to add it to my database and get a feel for it. But I didn't really get a good inspection of it that time. This time I'm with a client, so we went through the open house and were able to open the closets and take a good look around. I opened the laundry room door, and to my actual horror, really, I discovered that in this pretty much brand new building, they are using a 110 volt washer dryer combo that does not vent to the outside. And in my opinion, I was absolutely shocked by it. That is a deal breaker, in my opinion. Now, let me explain to you, because some people are going to say, oh, what's the big deal? First off, in this day and age, brand new concrete construction and asking $1,000 a square foot, you should not be getting a washer dryer combo, which is a inferior unit. They're usually made in Europe, like in Poland or Czechoslovakia, and they run off 110 volt, and they're not vented. You would find those in condos built in the 70s or 80s. I sell lots of them out in Richmond that don't vent to the outside. But hey, those are priced at $350 a square foot. You can overlook it. When you're paying $1,000 a square foot for a new concrete building, and that's the setup, it is absolutely mind-boggling that they've done that, and talk about cutting corners. So people, be careful. Let me explain to you why this is an absolute don't go near these. And it kind of, now I'm kind of figuring it out why I'm seeing so much turnover in this building. Once a building gets about a year old, you'll often see some listings coming out because people have bought them as pre-sale. You need to live in them for the first year to get that principal residence exemption, so that when you sell it, the gain is tax-free. So you'll always see a little bit of a surge after a building has been occupied for a year. But I have seen a normal amount of listings come out in this particular building, and now I realize why. So I'll paint the picture for you here. If anyone, and I'd love people to comment on this as well, if they've got experience with these 110 volt washer dryer combo. So what I mean by that is it's not a stacker, it's just one unit. You put your clothes in, it washes, and then it drains the tub, and then it acts as a dryer, that same bin. So they're running on 110. So the washing machine to wash a set, some jeans and a couple of pillowcases and some t-shirts usually takes about 90 minutes or so for the wash cycle. The drying cycle can last hours. Because it doesn't vent, also the hot air is venting out of the back of the machine into the closet, and of course coming out into the unit. So this particular unit we looked at, they had a young baby. I noticed the crib in the bedroom, and I heard someone ask the realtor, why are they moving? And he had said, they've got a job transfer, something to that effect. Now maybe that was true, I don't know. But here's what I can see. If you've got a young child or two young children and you're trying to do laundry in one of these Euro one-piece units that doesn't vent, you would have that washing and drying machine running all day long. And can you imagine in the summertime the amount of heat that's going to build up in there? It's a deal breaker. Even as an investor, I can tell you that if you bought these units cheap and put a tenant in there, I can tell you that within a week, the tenant would be calling you and saying, hey, Owen, there's something wrong with the washing machine. It takes 2 hours to do a load, and then the dryer takes 3 hours to dry my bed linens. And I'd have to tell him, yeah, it's only working on 110 volt and it doesn't vent. And that would be the other complaint. You know, my apartment in the summertime is 85 degrees because it's blowing out of the closet, the hot air. I can tell you that the tenant, if he was depending on the person, he's either going to ride it out for the full year of the lease and then get out of there, or he's going to call you a month later and say, I'm giving you my 1 month's notice. I can't take this washer dryer. It's a deal breaker. And I can tell you, if you've got kids, it's not until you get in there and start using these crappy machines that you realize this is a joke. I can't keep up with the laundry on this thing. So for the life of me, I cannot understand why the developer would have done something like that. I can understand this in a building built in the 70s or 80s, but you're paying $300 or $400 a square foot. For brand new concrete downtown at $1,000 a square foot, it's unacceptable. Folks, do not go near these. It will drive you nuts, and you cannot vent these things. They're not, the ductwork isn't put in. And as I say, it's running off 110 volts, so you can't even get a proper washer, a stacker in there. They run off 210. So I would love to hear comments from people. I know I get lots of tradespeople and people that are pretty familiar with you know, appliances and things like that watch my blog. Give me your experiences with these European 110 volt that don't vent, and I'm sure everyone's going to agree. I can't imagine the temperatures that are going on in that unit in the summer. You'd be running those dryers all day long to do your bed sheets. And as an investment property, I tell you right now, your tenancy turnover in that place would be horrendous. Your tenant's not going to notice that until he gets in there and starts using the damn thing. Then he's going to be on the phone to you telling you there's something wrong with the washer and dryer. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a crappy Euro machine that doesn't work. It's 110. So those are the kind of things you need to be careful of here. And you know, when I see something like that, after I saw that, now I started looking at the rest of this unit and the rest of this building with a much more critical eye. And there was a few other things that I had spotted as well. When they scrimp on something that obvious to cut corners and costs, you have to ask yourself, what else did they cut corners on here that I can't see? So folks, be careful. Is what I'm saying. This is a hot market right now. There's still opportunities out there. I still see in great units. Sure, you got to get into a bidding war on them, but they're still good long-term values. But then you get some stuff like this, which I don't care at any price, I would touch with a 10-foot pole. I'm Owen Big Glen. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.